Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So if you want to learn how to create this silver / white / grey hair, then please do keep watching. It's a couple of simple steps, really beginner friendly. Like I said, if you want to learn how, just keep watching. I've done a tutorial on the flowers and the eyes. I just did all the green off camera in my own time, and just looking at it in camera I need to darken this up a little bit, so I'll do that. I'll do that in my own time. I just use Prismacolor for these bits, but today I want to do the hair. Now I've decided I want to give her white silvery hair. Now of course I'm using my Polychromos pencils. They're my go-to for hair. Now I've pulled all these colours out. I might not necessarily use them all, even though there isn't really that many. So we've got the lightest shade is Cold Grey 2. Then we've got Cold Grey 3. Cold Grey 6. I was working it out then, that one's 6. And then we've got Cold Grey, I think that's 7. Oh, they look very similar. So if I show you the numbers, and I will link these in the description, I'm probably wrong there. Norman numerals. I don't really know very well. And white, just your plain white. And I've pulled out my Sunis marker as well, because it's got a lovely fine point to it. So as with my recent tutorials, what I'll do is I'll do a couple of sections of her in real time and explain what I'm doing, and then I'll put the rest in as a time lapse for you, because there's only so many times I can explain how to do certain things, and I don't want to bore you guys. I don't want to bore you. So let's just get started. So first off, let me bring you down a little bit, and I think what I will colour in real time, I'll do this block here, this decent sized block that's just covering her ear up and half of her face. Now I'm planning with this skin, I don't know if I'm going to film it or not, because I want to use my light fast pencils, and I'm not too clued up with skin tone colours, combos with that at the minute, but I might do, I might not. And I'm going to add lots of makeup as well to cover up this boo-boo of the ink running. But let's go in with the lightest shade, Cold Grey 2. The camera does not like any sort of metallic writing on pencils. It really doesn't. So this, I'm going to pop it in the lightest area, but actually I've just thought as well, I'm going to pull out my Chinese white Derwent drawing pencil, just in case the Polychromos one isn't as bright as I want it. So with this lightest shade, I just want to put a light layer over the whole thing. But can you see where it's just starting to get a bit grayscaled at the top there? So she's showing you where to put your dark colours or darker colours. I want to stay clear of them really. I want to bring you in a little bit more. That should be better. Yes, that should be better. I don't want to go over all of that grayscale. I want to keep that empty for the next colours. So I'm just doing a light layer of this, up and down motions, and turning my pencil to keep it as sharp as possible as well as I'm doing it. So you see here where it's grayscaled. I don't really want to go over that, not just yet. Save that for the darker colours. So same thing. I'm just putting a light layer of this on. I'd say I'm using medium pressure here. I'm not pushing very hard, but there's enough pigment going down, I won't have to go over in layers and layers. So it's a little bit more grayscale on this bit, so I don't want to pull it up or down too far. So that should be enough of that colour for now. And I don't think I'm going to use the 3. I think I'm going to skip to, is it 5 or 6 this one? There we go, that's better. So switch to this colour, and then now you start on the grayscale bit, so you're adding your shadows now, just to get a little bit more depth in the hair. Be careful of the flower, I don't want to go over that white. So just thin strokes, pulling it down. Again at medium pressure. And let's work from the bottom as well. Just brush away all that. There's a little bit underneath this stem as well. Now the trick here is you don't want a line, you don't want a line of colour, because that's when it really doesn't look realistic. So some of these strokes I'll finish further up, some of them will be back down here. You just want to add a variation to the lines. I might go up the top as well once I've done this bit, bottom a bit. And I'm going to have to turn the paper a little bit just to make it easier on my wrist. So that bit there, you can actually see her face, so I have to be careful there. But pushing that colour up. Let's go around her shoulder. If you can hear any weird noises in the background, my little dog is snoring. So pull that colour up. It just depends how much of a highlight that you want. So if you just want a small highlight, you want to pull the colour up further and just leave a smaller gap in the middle. But if you want a bigger highlight, then don't pull it up as much or push it down as much either. So this needs to be a little bit further up. Just like that. And then this last bit here. So it's that same thing again. So you're pushing that colour up. And I do like the fact that it's got quite a big highlight. I do like that, but I'll add just a tiny bit more at the top. Like I said, I don't want it to be a perfect line, that's really what I don't want. To try and make it different. Right, in there with the darker shade now. If I just show the camera, you can see by the number as well, you'll be able to go off that. But you don't have to use polychromos if you've not got them. Any pencils will do, as long as you've got a light, a medium and a dark. You know, you'll be able to get the same effect. Are you with us now, dog? No, she's sunbathing. So the exact same process as the middle colour, but you're not pulling that colour down as far. You just want to keep it quite high up, and then you want to keep it quite low down here. But occasionally, like, you can add one quite dark line, just like I did here. Now, just to break it up a little bit. Let's deepen this bit up as well. The fun part is adding the white highlight. So I'll just go around the shoulder here because I do not want to get on that. being mindful there's a gap there. And here. So it starts off here. So now it's coming together. You could actually add a little bit of black. I don't think I'm going to do that. I want to keep it as grey, silver, white as possible, but you could, if you wanted to, just to deepen up these areas, you could add black, but I'd just be really, really light-handed with the strokes with black, especially with the polychromos, because they are really, really pigmented pencils. That should be enough of that. Right, I will try the polychromos version of white first, but I've got a funny feeling I'm gonna use my Chinese white, the Derwent drawing pencil, because I do really, really like that. But in saying that, I can get finer details with this polychromos one. So yeah, what I'm gonna do, I want to use this one first, and then I'll use the polychromos for the finer details. Plus, this is a softer core pencil, whereas the polychromos is a lot harder, But if your name's Debbie, you still managed to break it. So backwards and forwards strokes here, medium pressure, just blending all this together. Once I've finished the skin, I'll probably go ahead as well and add bits of wispy hair with some of the greys and the white. So back in with the polychromos white, just to get a few smaller lines, because the thing is with the drawing pencils, the core is huge, and the sharper you get it, the more it's more likely to break. So I do keep it quite blunt. I've learned now. I've learned eventually. So up and down strokes, up and down strokes. I don't want to use this pen just yet. With another picture that I did of Mariola Budek, I will try and pull it out and show you what. I'll try and pull it out. I'll find it now and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So with this illustration by Mariola Budek, the actual white I went over with, it was a gel pen, and then I went over the gel pen as well with a pencil. I don't think it was a polychromos, it might have been a Prismacolor. But my only thought with this, it was very pronounced, the hair in this, even like down to the plait, and I could get away with it. I don't think I will be able to do that with this because it's a lot darker of a silver colour. I think it'll look strange if I go over the line art with the white, but you know, it is a completely different effect what I've achieved on here to here. So you've got your pure white hair with hints of silver, where this is like a silver grey colour. So I mean, you could do that, you could go over with this sort of pen, but I think as well, because of the actual style of art of Christine Karen's work, I don't think it'll match very well, whereas the Mariola Budek one turned out beautifully doing it that way. So it took me longer than I want to admit to find that as well. I need to go ahead and go through all of my PDFs and organise them a little bit better. But I will do the rest in a little bit of a time lapse, so you can enjoy some music, excuse me, over the top. And I will have all the pencils linked in the description, and I will come back at the end of the video. is the hair complete. Now I will come back and add eyebrows and whatnot once I've done the skin tone, but it's relatively simple to do, I think, to create this sort of hair colour. But I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do leave me a thumbs up. Until my next video, take care of yourself. Bye.